Okay, you're given the function, you're given a picture of it, and you're told some things about the function. For example, it says there's 2 points that are indicated. And again, we'll look at the graph, and they say those points are where x equals plus or minus the root of 5/2. All right? So what I want to do is just look at the picture first. Again, it says figure 11. We're looking at that now. I just want to write down what they said these points were here. Right, so this is an indicated point, and that point over there would be the root of 5/2. This point over here is minus the root of 5/2. I want to compute that though, and I hope you realize looking at it that it's symmetric. We'll get to the answering questions later, but I want to write this down over here. I want to write down what f of. Now, either of those numbers are going to evaluate to the same thing, so I'm just going to do the root of 5/2. What would that give you? Well, let's see, fourth power of that give me 25/4. Minus, well, 5 times the square of that would be 25/2. And then plus 4. Come then it would be 4. You get 25 minus 50 plus 16. So let's see what you get there. I guess you get minus 9/4. I'll put that down. Now looking at it, it does seem stand to reason it's minus 9/4. Just looking at it, it looks like minus 9/4. All right? So I'm kind of done with that. And now someone says, did you need that? Not really. I don't know what the questions are, but I do know that they gave that to me. They gave me the picture. They gave me the 2 points. I had to compute the ordinate for it, but they gave it to me. So what's the first question now? Is the function even, odd, or neither? Well, looking at it, I'm going to say it's even, but before I answer the question, I want to write down what even means for me. Even means that f of x would be identical to f of minus x. And let's see if that's true. Well, f of x is x4 minus 5x squared plus 4. And if you put in minus x, what do you get? x4 minus 5x squared plus 4. It's definitely even. So I'll put this down for this question and say it's even. All right, that was pretty easy. What's the next thing they want to do? I don't know. I'll read the question. It says that the domain of that. Well, the domain of that, there's no divisions or even root taking, so the domain is all real numbers. I'll put that in a box. What's the range of it? Well, I'm looking at the picture, and I'm glad I did that computation before, because I can put the range down now. It seems like the smallest point there is minus 9/4, and it goes off to infinity. Again, we'll look at the key later. How about the intervals where it's increasing? Increasing means as you move left to right, it's going uphill. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to say it looks like it's going uphill here. That's moving left to right. And it looks like it's moving uphill over here. And that goes on forever, by the way. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to say over here, whoops, sorry about that. Let me get back to my black pen. I'm going to say the answer over here where it's increasing. It looks like it's increasing from, this is along the x-axis, by the way, so minus, whoops, made a mistake there. When you make a mistake, you should erase it and put the proper thing down. So minus the root of 5/2, and it stops increasing when it hits the number x along the x interval. And then I'm going to say it starts to increase again, let's see, from the root of 5/2 off to infinity. All right? So I can put a box on that. Now, where's it decreasing? That should be pretty easy, too. I mean, basically just looking at the picture, I'm going to say it's falling down here. And it's falling down. By the way, this I hope you realize it goes on forever. Falling down there. So let's write this down, and we'll check with the key. So I'm going to say from minus infinity up to minus root 5/2. The reason I use open intervals is because in Math 121 they'll use open intervals, and I don't want to be inconsistent with that. But formally speaking, we should include the endpoint on that. So what do you get over here? It's also going to be decreasing from 0 up to the root 5/2. All right? I got that part done, put a box on it. Again, we'll look at the key later. What's the y-intercept? Well, that's pretty simple. All you got to do is set x to be 0, and if you do that, you would get 4. Let me just look at the picture and see if that's true. Yeah, I do see it. That's 0, comma 4. All right. What's the next thing? How many x-intercepts are there? Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say there's 4 x-intercepts. And you say, can you find them? Well, I'm looking at them. I kind of know what they are, but let's just go through it. All right, how do you do that? Set the function to 0, and you factor it. That would be x squared. Looks like minus 4 minus 1. I continue to factor it, and that would be x plus 2, x minus 2, x plus 1, x minus 1. Well, kind of as expected, I'm seeing that, but let me write them down for you. Minus 2, 0, minus 1, 0, 1, 0, and 2, 0. I'm kind of expecting that, by the way. So I'm going to put a circle on that, saying that's my answer to G. What's the relative maximum? Well, I'm looking at it. The relative maximum is this point over here, so I'll say 0, 4. What's the relative minimum? There's 2 of them. I'll write them down for you. And the other one's going to be the root of 5 halves minus 9 quarters. All right, let's get a red pen out and see how we did. I want to point, as I'm looking at these things, I want to point out, I concluded this was even because of this factor over here. Let's see what they said. Yeah, they got that. Let's see if I got the proper domain down. Let me go back to red. All right, let me see if I got that. Yeah, I do, right over here. All right. Let's see if I have the proper range down. Minus 9 quarters to infinity. Yep, we got that. Let's keep moving. How about this one over here, which is where they were saying it was increasing. Let's see if we wrote that down. Yep. Did I write this down? Yep. Keep going. For F, did I write that down? Let's take a look. Yep. 4 x-intercepts. They kind of, I'm not going to say sloppy, but they did do it. It's minus 2, minus 1, 1, and 2. Got those written down. So I'm going to agree with that. Let's see, y-intercept. That was h, right? Yep. Got the, oh, I'm sorry, that was not the y. I'm sorry. That's the relative maximum. I'm misreading there. We already did the y-intercept. And the minimums. Let's see if I put those down. Yeah. They just put in the shorthand notation, by the way. That's done. Go to the next question. Thank you.